Hey everybody, Neil here with Aviator Q. Welcome back to another episode. On today's episode, what we're going to be working on is what I like to call like a fake brisket or brisket on a budget. It's an experiment that I had heard about and I kind of wanted to try it out. I did an experiment last week. I was super impressed with it, so we're going to put it on video for you guys this week. Basically what we're doing is we're taking a chuck roast. We're going to season it up. We're going to cook it just like we would like a brisket flat or even a whole packer brisket for that matter. And it's going to come out really close to what a brisket kind of tastes like for about a third of the price. This is going to be a great video if you've never done brisket and you're kind of a little offset by the price of a full packer brisket, or if you're just kind of wanting to something a little easier to kind of like dive in and get your feet wet with smoking beef. So sit back, relax, and welcome aboard. So for today's cook, since it's just a small chuck roast, we're going to be doing it on the Weber Kettle. Not really worth firing up the Weber Smoky Mountain for such a small piece of meat. That's a lot of air to heat up, a lot of fuel to use, and it's kind of a cloudy, cold day. About 38 degrees right now. It's just it's the Saturday before Super Bowl Sunday, and we're just kind of having some. We're just going to do it in the Weber charcoal grill. Save a little bit of fuel, save a little bit of time, a lot less air to kind of smoke up. But I wanted to show you guys how I set stuff up when we do a smoke on the Weber's Kettle. So if you guys have never seen me smoke anything before on the Weber Kettle, it's a relatively great little piece of equipment to really start kind of branching out and starting your smoking. It does great for a 6 to 8 hour cook. You have to constantly add a little bit of charcoal in there, but it's great for getting your feet wet. You guys will want to make a little bit of adjustments here to kind of help you out with the cook. In the bottom of the grate, you've got these levers that kind of control the airflow. Once you get all the food on top of it, though, you can't see it. So the easiest thing to do is find a couple positions where it's full, half, quarter open, and make little marks down here on your ash pan tray. I did that on a previous cook, and you can kind of notice right there where I've just kind of got a quarter, a half, a full mark. So if I need to make a temperature adjustment, I can do that without ever seeing the grates. Some other pieces of equipment that'll make your cook a little bit easier is adding this is just a recyclable aluminum tin. You can put some water in that, any kind of aromatics, and then you'll want something to help keep the charcoal lit. This is the Weber charcoal basket. It'll keep everything mounted up, keep everything the coals nice and hot, burning efficiently. So here's the chuck roast that we're going to be using today. It's a USDA choice, but it's one of the nicer choices that I think I've ever seen. That's got a lot of really nice, pretty intermuscular fat kind of in there. The bottom side looks just about as good. For our seasoning here, what we're going to do is just going to basically do like a Texas style seasoning. Got some kosher salt. The box wouldn't fit in my spice drawer, so I just put it in a bag. Got some coarse ground pepper. And for just a subtle little bit of color and flavor, we're going to do a little bit of cow cover. I mixed it all up in a previous shaker we did. And that's kind of what we got. We're just going to apply a little bit of yellow mustard for a binder and season it liberally. Alright folks, this is a little bit of yellow mustard. We're just going to apply that on just as a little bit of a binder. Kind of work it in to the meat. Help give something for the seasoning to kind of stick to. Just kind of want to work it in all sides, kind of massage it in. Don't want to overly do it, but definitely want to give something for the rub to stick to. Now in the event of a long smoke like this thing's probably going to be on the smoker for a good 4 or 5 hours. You're not really going to ever taste you'll never taste the mustard on here. Once all the smoke and the seasoning gets on it, it's just something purely for the rub to smoke to. So you kind of just work it in. There are some small little crevices to a chuck like that. Probably could trim that off. I'm just going to push it together. Like I said, it's not the same muscle structure as a brisket, but it's perfect for the budget. Since this is going to be my bottom, we'll start with that. Just kind of want to work it on light real liberally. Kind of like a typewriter, just going back and forth. Work it in. Get your sides, kind of sprinkle it onto your hand, then your hand can kind of push it up into the sides. The sides there. You just want to put it straight down. You don't want to drag any of that stuff that you just put on the sides off. And again, we're just going to kind of come back through here. Press it into the meat a little bit, and that's pretty much all we're going to need to do. Let it set a little bit, soak up a little bit of that, let the salt bring out a little bit of moisture, and it'll be ready for the grill. So we just put the meat on the grill. Basically, we've got the meat directly over the water pan. I've got, didn't talk about the fuel yet. I've got the professional series of Kingsford, and then I've got a couple chunks, only one in there right now, of pecan wood, and lit, unlit, and we're just gonna keep kind of keep filling that as it goes down. I'm gonna get the lid on there so I don't lose too much momentum. I always make sure on these Kettle grills, always have your vent over the meat. That way it kind of comes up, pulls across, and then out for the smoke. I like to use the Kingsford Professional briquette series when I'm doing the smoke on the Kettle. I think they burn a little bit hotter, which means I don't have to have so much in there to hold my temperatures. Plus, I think they burn a little bit more consistent, and it's a little bit lower ash, I think, than the regular Kingsford bag. So like I said, that's all apples and oranges. That's just kind of my personal preference. Any charcoal you guys want to use will work in that situation. So we're coming up on the 3-hour mark. If you notice, I just added some charcoal because most of the heat kind of comes this way. I'm just going to give the brisket a gentle little turn here. If you notice, I'm starting to have some fat rendering right there. So we're just going to kind of be careful, turn off. If you notice, the bark is almost starting to set. Could go just a little bit more. I think that's mostly just fat rendering. If you did have any spots that were a little dry looking, you could hit them with some apple. You could hit them with some kind of a spritz. I think I'm gonna use a little bit of apple cider vinegar. Apple juice would work. Anything, beef juice, anything would kind of work. Water would even work. Really, you're just kind of wanting to, any point that kind of looks dry, like right this edge, just kind of spritz it up. Cool the outside while the inside continues to cook. I think I'm just going to hit it with a quick little shot of apple cider vinegar. On long cooks, this won't take nearly as long as a regular brisket, but the longer the cook, sometimes the sugary based ones can kind of get a little black on you, so that's why I kind of go with a little bit of a vinegar. But I'm going to spray down real fast and get it back cooking. Alright, so the vinegar, just kind of do a sweeping motion. Try not to get your coals. Just kind of a sweeping motion here. I'm just hitting all the sides. And that's about it. we'll probably keep it going for another, probably about another hour, and then we'll be ready to wrap. So we are just about the 4 hour 15-minute mark. A lot of that fat's starting to render off. We're finally getting the color that we want. The bark's starting to really set up good. So I think at this point we're going to get it off. We're going to get wrapped, and then we're going to finish it up. Don't want to lose too much of that moisture as that fat renders. So we're going to pull it off. We're going to wrap it. We'll show you that. And then we'll get it back on the grill to finish. So before I wrap that chuck roast up, I wanted to kind of address something that I'm going to show you here in a second. I'm going to be experimenting with a little bit of butcher's paper today. Butcher's paper is a special type of paper. It's designed to be able to cook with, have some juice drip on it, and it won't fall through or stick to the meat or anything like that. So it's a special paper. You can get some off Amazon. You can go to your local butchery. They can give you some if you guys want to experiment. If you don't have butcher paper, that's fine. I'm just playing with it in this video. You can use tin foil if you want. Tin foil is great. Wrapping will help save moisture. But tin foil will sometimes destroy the bark that you work so hard to get. It kind of steams it in there. Butcher's paper is kind of like a medium between the argument of wrapping it versus non-wrapping it in tin foil. So we're going to play around with it today. I'm going to show you how I do it. Like I said, if you don't have butcher's paper, guys, just tin foil is fine. I would suggest putting the shiny side in so it doesn't reflect the heat. Yeah, other than that, let's get this chuck roast wrapped up. Alright, so we've got the chuck roast on the butcher paper. These are 2 pieces of butcher paper. If you can see, here's a piece. There's another. I cut the 2 kind of overlaid like that. That's just going to give me a double protection. What we want to do for this first fold here, we want to bring this kind of up and over. I had this position good the first time. I'm going to bring this first piece up and over, where it's just kind of going to be just slightly touching past. I'm going to cup it, and I'm going to pull back to really make sure that's a tight seal. Okay, and I'm going to kind of fold that. I'm going to come right here at the edge. I'm going to fold that down, and I'm going to fold it over. And if you notice, I'm going to make these little wings here, where they kind of go out. Same deal. I'm going to come down here, make a fold here, and I'm going to fold right like that. I'm going to hold it. Got to make these folds where they kind of come out. So I've kind of got 2 wings coming out here. Okay. There's my edge. I'm going to flip it right on top. Just like that. I'm going to seat it in. Now I'm going to kind of crumple it up here. Kind of fold in. Now those wings will go on the inside. Just kind of fold. And I've got a little bit too much paper. But from here we just kind of fold it one more time. So that we can kind of crumple it up, fold it into the halfway here. Now when that full bag is going to have multiple layers, just like that, and she's folded up. So we kept the roast going for about 5 hours total. We stuck a probe in it, just kind of feeling for tenderness. I checked the temperature just because I wasn't really shooting for exact temperature. The temperature was reading around 201, like 199, 201, somewhere like that. But just kind of stuck it in there, kind of felt it around. Finished up a little early, so I just kind of been holding it in the butcher's paper for about an hour or so. But we're going to unwrap the butcher's paper, see how we did, and cut it up and get ready to eat. Let's see how we did. Alright, so as far as cutting, like I said, it's not a typical brisket. I remember there was a fat vein that kind of went in there, so I'm probably going to kind of slice and work my way into slices like that. So we'll just kind of see what we got. The first piece is going to be really barky, but bit right there. A little bit of a fat vein kind of starting to hit, but that's just part of the chuck roast. We go for one of these middle slices. Now it's going to fall apart because of that fat vein, but if you notice, it's kind of got like a little brisketly texture. It's about the same color. Got a nice smoke ring. Pull test. Now it's pulled apart. Not quite the same fiber structure, but pretty good. Pretty good. Hi guys, so I hope you've really enjoyed the video. Just to do a quick recap of what we've done today, we're calling this the brisket on a budget. We took a USDA choice chuck roast. We seasoned it up just like we would have done a normal brisket, and we put it on the 22-inch Weber Kettle grill. We used Kingsford Professional briquettes with a couple pecan chunks of wood for the smoke. We cooked it around 280. The kettle's so small the temperature kind of fluctuated, but we were kind of aiming for 270, 280. It kind of wiggled in between there all afternoon. I think total cook time was just over 5 hours. We cooked it, we used butcher paper after the bark had kind of set, and just kind of let it, the fat kind of melt down in there. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, if you like the content that we're putting out, give us a like and subscribe. It's about a 6-month-old channel. We're still trying to grow it on subscribers. And hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.